Hello, I'm Beatrice, and you are here today to learn about a three-tiered pricing strategy of magnificent impact. Welcome to everyone in attendance. It's nice to start my day with you. And that's about enough of being nice. A trusted colleague of mine tells me often if I'm not challenging at least half of my audience, I'm not doing it right. So today, my alternative to nice is to share transparently the results of research and firsthand experience working with people and companies who stand waiting to take business away from you. Because, make no mistake about it, if you aren't willing to do what it takes, someone else is. If you are willing to do what it takes, in the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you through the three pricing tiers. The first one is how to pick your low-hanging fruit. The second one, how do you know how your clients want to buy from you, as well as how they do not want to buy. And the third, how to set your pricing so clients sell themselves. Some of you already know, I believe, serving is the new selling. Sales are no longer about aggression and tenacity. Now they're about customer service and the fit. If you have the product or service they want, if the fit is there is nothing to sell. There's no need to be aggressive. They will sell themselves. Your job is to make it as easy as possible. A frustrating tip I hear often from my business coach is, in order for it to work, you have to do it. So let's jump in. Number one was, how do you pick your low-hanging fruit? The construct for generating revenue right now easily is to understand that half the population has no access to you. 50% of the population does not have access to many of the basic everyday products and services that the other half does. You've heard of the underbanked, people who can't use the banking system. There are 66 million of them in the United States. That's more than 20% of the population who don't use banks. How does that affect how they buy and who they buy from? How about the underlawed? 47% of the population cannot afford a lawyer or doesn't know when they need one. Another 40 million people are underserved without health care. The categories of the unders span many sectors. Add to this fact that access to technology is starting to put more products and services in front of 100% of the population far more easily than ever before. Think about apps. How about a legal service? Hello Divorce is an app. Their tagline outright says, divorce doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. We can help you through it without high lawyer fees. How about Uber? They didn't take away money from taxi drivers. Taxis only appealed to half the population. They didn't listen to how people wanted to hail that transportation service. I love to say that Blockbuster didn't go under because people stopped watching movies. Netflix made it easier to get them and to pay for them. The list goes on of companies and products that are targeting 100% of the population. You may be thinking, I'm a real service provider, or I have a tangible product, not an app, I'm worth paying for. Yes, you are. But creating a pricing strategy that lets your buyers know that is what I'm suggesting as a low-hanging fruit strategy. So how do you pick this low-hanging fruit? You start with an entry-level price point to make it as easy as possible for 100% of the people to work with you. I call my entry price point, Ask Me Anything. This is a link on my homepage to click and register to Ask Me Anything. I do this one Friday morning a month. Anyone can ask me anything for free. That's why some of you are here. You can also add an easy scheduling application to your website or signature line and let them pick their paid appointment time. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. What's your hourly rate? Break it up and offer mini paid appointments to the 50% of the population that doesn't otherwise have access to you. Choose one day per week or per month that you take these kinds of meetings, and poof, you've now appealed to 100% of the population instead of just half. That's your entry price point. And if they can't afford your hourly, for some good advice or your product, they can use an app or go without because they aren't an ideal client. By offering an entry price point, though, you've attracted a new revenue stream, and some of them turn into ideal clients. More importantly, you've put the offer in front of everyone, not just half of them. It's a much more powerful place from which to start. If there's one thing I've learned over the years, it's that if I told my best clients what they would really be paying me over the course of a year or a project, they probably wouldn't have hired me. I created easy entry price points so they get the part they want up front. And I prove my worth along the way so that those who really need my area of expertise keep paying me. I have nothing to sell. I am an expert in my field. If someone wants my expertise, if I am their expert, they will sell themselves easily. They are my sweet spot. Let's talk about your sweet spot, your ideal clients. This is how you learn how prospects want to buy from you. It replaces how you want to sell to them. You conduct an ideal client summary. How do you do that? Also, three things. Create a list, call a list, track the responses. The list is created by putting down in an Excel document 10, 15, 20 of your top clients over the last few years. List them, put their name and their phone number in an Excel spreadsheet, and have a neutral third party call them up. These can be top clients by any measurement. They made you a lot of money. They were good referral sources. They paid their bills on time. The project was deep and long or short and easy. They bought a lot of products and services. Did I say that already? Any measurement you want. Pick your top clients and put them into an Excel document, and then have a neutral third party, someone with a good phone voice, college student, an admin, not you is my point, and call them up and ask them 2 questions. When I do this, I literally say, "This is Beatrice. I'm calling on behalf of my client. They speak very highly of working with you. I want to ask you 2 quick questions about your experience working with them." That's it. They answer the question. Takes a minute. The first question is, "Can you tell me what you like most about working with this company?" And I write down their answers verbatim in this Excel spreadsheet. The second question is, and I say, "Assuming there's always room for improvement, what do you like least about working with this company?" And I write down their responses verbatim in this category as well. When you look at 10 or 20 of these responses in both questions, and you highlight the repeated words and phrases, you now have a powerful place to understand how your clients want to buy instead of how you want to sell. The repeated words and phrases for what they like most, you begin to use that on your website, in your emails, in your proposals, in your newsletters. Those are the words and phrases that will attract more ideal clients who want that kind of service provider or product. Their words, not your industry buzzwords. What they like least, those repeated words and phrases become your areas for improvement. By all means, get better. But it also becomes a way you have to overcome objections before new prospects even have them. Taxi drivers were forever hearing the complaint, "They're never on the corner I needed them to be on." Well, how are you going to overcome that if you're Uber? Click the button in our app. Our driver will come to where you are in just a minute. Bingo. What if you're a construction expert? One of the ideal client summaries I did had a category that repeated over and over in that sector. They did great work, their project was done on time, but the punch list never was completed. I will never work with them again. Wow, they loved the work and they still couldn't handle those little tiny punch list items. Here are 3 examples that I have ready for you from real ideal client summaries of what people liked most. Here's the first one. "She heard every one of my requests and guided me through the ridiculous amount of options in front of me so I could stay inside my budget. He was a calming and confident presence during a very difficult technology project. How's that for a statement? Do you want that technology person by your side? Here's the last one. Never once was I treated as anything other than a valuable client. Can you imagine on your website using phrases like that to describe yourself? Phrases that are human and attractive to people looking for those exact strengths. Talk about standing out from the status quo. What they like least, though, becomes your areas for improvement. Area for improvement. One more, how many are you going to learn? Learn from them and change them. But also remember that this is how you overcome objections before your prospects even have them. And as I mentioned, I always start that phrase, that question with, assuming there's always room for improvement, what did you like least? Here's an example. He and his company are nothing but broken promises and unmet expectations. The billable hours just piled up and I felt like I had no control. That was one of their top clients. My point, create your own ideal client summary. Make the list, call the list, track the answers, use the results. This is how you isolate what an ideal client is, how they want to buy from you, and how to overcome objections before they even have them. That's your sweet spot, ideal clients. So you've got your low hanging fruit, your entry point category, and now you've got your ideal clients, your sweet spot. Those are two tiers of this pricing strategy. Here's the third tier. I call it pie in the sky pricing. This is the big juicy price point you can charge for those clients who are willing to pay it. I put this on my website too. I put it in my proposals. Every time I have to put my fees or my scope of work in writing, I add a pie in the sky category for those people willing to self-identify and upsell themselves. On your website, in your signature line, they can see the Ask Me Anything category or the Book a Short Appointment category. And when it's appropriate, add the high touch category because some clients want to feel special right up front. So let them self-qualify and let them pay you where they want to be served. This price point has your highest hourly rate, or it's your top valued products and services. The point is, this is your pie in the sky price point, the big juicy price point you can charge for those clients who are willing to pay it. Low hanging fruit category, ideal client summary, ideal client category, and pie in the sky category. 3 tiers of pricing to make it as easy as possible for clients to self-identify and work with you. My closing tip is the same as my opening tip. In order for it to work, you have to do it. Set up a 3-tiered pricing strategy and let them self-identify and come to you. All you have to do then is show up as the expert you are.